Hello everyone, welcome back to Knowing God by J.I. Packer. I finished 22 chapter summary, chapter by chapter, but now I'm getting some questions regarding the book as well as Bible related questions. So today I'm going to capture one question about this book and then address that in a short video here. There was an analogy of Balconeers versus travelers. And concept of Balconeers is this: a person or people who are earnestly interested in knowing God. Details on various theological topics, such as Trinity, predestination, everlasting life, heaven and hell, all kinds of difficult topics. They also want to know what's the right way to look at the Bible. Various approaches, different scholars' opinions, they're seriously interested in those things. But that's the extent of their interest. Travelers, on the other hand, they do all that the Balconeers do and live Christian lives as well. They're seriously interested in knowing the truth. They meditate on scriptures day and night. They pray. But their way of living is based on what they learn from the Bible. Of course, it is important to understand these difficult topics, but putting those things into practice is crucial as Christians. So Balconeers versus Travelers analogy is first mentioned by John Mackay at J.I. Packer's book, pages 11 and 12. He's using this analogy. So what are the differences? I already explained to you, but let me give you another analogy. If you like sports, let's say if you watch soccer game, a lot of audiences, your friends, your family members gather around and watch the game together. We all have our opinions. We understand the game, their rules and players and coaching and training. We know all about that. However, we're just watching the game and analyzing it based on our semi-professional knowledge. But the players are the ones who are out at the field actually playing the game. Of course, they play by the rule and they know what to do. They've been practicing the game and they try to win the game. Completely different perspective. And let me give you this story, and this story captures the very core of Balconeers. All right, so let's start from here. While studying in the Holy Lands, a seminary professor of mine met a man who claimed to have memorized the Old Testament in Hebrew. Needless to say, the astonished professor asked for a demonstration. A few days later, they sat together in the man's home. "Where shall we begin?" asked the man. "Psalms 1," replied my professor, who was an avid student of the Psalms. Beginning with Psalm 1:1, the man began to recite from memory, while my professor followed along in his Hebrew Bible. For 2 hours, the man continued word for word, without a mistake, as the professor sat in stunned silence. That's just amazing. Can you imagine somebody memorizing the whole Bible in their own language, but somebody memorizing the Bible in the original language, Hebrew? Wow. So when the demonstration was over, my professor discovered something even more astonishing about the man. What else can it be? The man who recited the Bible in Hebrew, he was an atheist. Here was someone who knew the scriptures better than most Christians ever will, yet he didn't even believe in God. Can you believe this? Balconeers, not all of them, but at least big portion of them could be in this category. They're interested in knowing God, knowing about the scriptures. But if that's the end of their curiosity or their adventure, then you don't live as Christians. If you don't believe in God, then you're not a believer, literally. So, as travelers, we should walk like this. Paul mentioned it in Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling. To walk in a manner worthy of the calling is the key point here. To walk means to live. So Paul is saying we should live in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. This is an amazing description of how we are supposed to live as Christians. First off, just like Balconeers, we have to have this never-ending curiosity about God. We have to always delve into the Word of God, study and meditate on it day in and day out. And we have to pray, always pray about everything based on the scriptures. Then we have to practice what we learned from the scriptures, because that's what the followers of Jesus would do. That's how we are supposed to walk in a manner worthy of the calling. That was short, but I hope it helped. So if you have any questions about the Bible, if you have any questions about J.I. Packer's Knowing God, please post your question and comments here. Then I'll put together a short video like this and upload it for the benefit of all the audiences. Have a blessed day and happy Bible study, everyone.